Get peace of mind knowing your files are secured with Backblaze. What is Backblaze? It's unlimited cloud backup for Macs and PCs. Backblaze, check this out, backs up documents, music, photos, videos, drawings, projects, whatever you need, and you can access it from anywhere in the world, all for just $5 a month. $5, baby.
That's a deal.
$5 holla. You can even get a 15-day free trial. Just make sure you visit backblaze.com/AppleByte so they know where you came from and continue to support the show. Start protecting all of your most important files today. Backblaze, back that thing up.
Back it up, baby.
I added that. They should appreciate that.
We are live from the Giant Bomb podcast studio in San Francisco, California. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy podcast. Which camera? With your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is episode 74. Or 74. Episode 74. If you haven't been watching Beach and Tong, this is kind of a reunion for us. We haven't done the show together in the same room for about a month now. So we're back in full effect. Welcome to the Byte Extra Crunchy, all things Apple, all the latest insights, a complimentary piece to our video podcast. And again, this show is all about you all, the viewers, the listeners, the callers. Be a part of the show. Call us at the number 1-800-616-2638. Leave us your name, where you're from, your comments, your good apples, your bad apples, or maybe you just don't like something that we said.
Maybe you're not into apples.
Just tell us. This is a collaborative. Hate is gonna hate. This is a collaborative show, and we respect all opinions unless you make fun of my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at all.
That just slides right off Brian at this point. You say something about his hair, he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to grow it bigger.
I'm going to just bleach it out. I'm going to bleach out your comments. All right, welcome back to the Byte Extra Crunchy. Steven, how does it feel to be back in the room?
It feels good.
It feels good.
Yeah, just being away, it's not as fun.
I hate talking by myself too. It's just not,
I know.
A show's never as good when you talk by yourself.
I know.
Let's just get that out of the way.
It's hard.
It is hard. You need two voices. All right, let's jump into it. The story that kind of shook the Apple world up this week comes from the Wall Street Journal. People might have gotten a little ahead of themselves, but the Wall Street Journal basically posted an article titled, Apple's next iPhone will have a curved screen. Now, we know this. We know already in advance that they've pre-ordered 160 million OLED screens, components in advance of what we believe is the Apple's 10th anniversary iPhone. According to the report, Apple is planning to use these OLED screens for a curved edge phone, quite honestly, much like we've seen from Samsung already, right? In the S7 and the upcoming S8 phone, which, if you look up, has been completely leaked by Boy Genius Report. But then, as you continue to go down the line, they talk about at least one of the phones. We're expecting 3 different iPhones, and one of them will be the 10th anniversary. We'll have this curved edge front using an OLED display, potential wireless charging, blah, 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 lots of things going on with that. But a little deeper into the article, they dropped this line. I'm going to read it for you. They said that Apple would introduce other updates, including a USB-C port for the power cord and other peripherals instead of the company's original Lightning connector. Okay. Now, instantly the internet set on fire and everyone was writing, Apple's ditching Lightning. Apple's getting rid of the Lightning port. Apple's going with USB-C. What is going on?
We gotta buy new cables.
Apple's screwing us again with a new port. Okay, slowly roll. Like right when I read this article, and people were like hitting me up. My boy Gil Cabrera, Gil C, okay, GC. He's like, dude, if they switch to USB-C, I'm gonna go crazy. And I'm like, okay, let me look at this article. The article doesn't outright say they're switching to Lightning. They say updates include a USB-C port for the power cord and other peripherals. Now, one thing that you might not all know is the iPad Pro, my favorite Apple gadget. Do you want to throw up already?
No.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. I read comics, right?
I love the iPad.
You need the iPad Pro for the comics. Okay. One of the options for the iPad Pro is to buy actually a 29-watt power adapter that connects, one of the connector ends is USB-C, because that provides more juice to the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro's Lightning connector end supports that higher wattage that it can charge it. So first of all, Apple included a 12-watt power adapter, which sucks. It takes the iPad Pro like literally, I'm going to argue 6 or 7 hours to charge up
full.
Hell
yeah. It takes a long time.
Long ass time.
Yes.
This is the Pro too. This is my big boy. So I'm like, I'm going to buy this USB-C power adapter to see what all the fuss is about. That thing charges literally 2.5 times faster. I think I get up to like 80% in maybe like an hour and a half.
That's huge.
Like ridiculous.
Huge.
About an hour and a half, let's say.
So it's an adapter.
It's just a power adapter.
Okay.
It still you still connect to your iPad Pro with Lightning, but the other end is USB-C.
I see.
And the actual power adapter supports a higher wattage that then goes into the iPad Pro, and because right now our phones are only can support a 12-watt power adapter.
Yeah.
So not as much juice going in, charges slower. So I think that this is exactly what they're doing, except it'll be for the new iPhone. It will support a USB-C port-based power adapter, 29 watts, unlike what the current phones do. Not remove the Lightning port. Don't get ahead of yourself, people.
For a second, I was like, wait, are they putting a second port on the phone?
No.
That's not going to happen.
I mean, Apple does a lot of crazy stuff now, but that's what I think it is. I would also like to, ahead of time, thank Apple for making me buy the faster power adapter, which arguably they should just put it in there. The power adapter costs $49, and the cable is like another $19 or $25.
That's not cheap.
So
that's expensive.
I spent $75 just to power my iPad Pro faster. Come on, bro.
That's crazy.
Come on, Apple.
I mean, it is needed though. Like my iPad 3rd generation that's still rocking. It takes forever. Right? Like I just overnight I'll charge it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
It's like it's a long time.
Yeah.
There's no quick charging where you can even plug it in for like 10 minutes and get like 20% juice. There's nothing like that on the iPads.
No.
So that's what I think they're going to be bringing to this new iPhone 8. I just want to calm everyone's nerves. Even after that report came out and the internet was set on fire and everyone's like, USB-C, Apple's going USB-C. KGI analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, John Gruber from Daring Fireball blog, they also are in a line with BTZ and the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy podcast with Beach and Tong. They're on team just a USB-C port for the power adapter.
So this story is supporting what we talked about last week, the bigger battery. So is this a move by Apple? Like we're going to put a bigger battery in the phone, so now we got to charge it faster.
I hope so. Yeah, that would make sense.
Totally.
I mean, if you're in product development like Stephen Beacham appears to be just now.
I am in product development for Apple. I'm a secret spy inside CNET.
Well, that actually could be true because 2 floors of our office actually belong to Apple. We just can't access them.
I'm on their payroll now. No, I'm just kidding.
I tried to climb through the ventilation system. It didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't
work. They locked
it
up, man.
They
cut all cables going into that floor. They just cut them. They're like, oh, this is your Facilis drive or your internet?
That's right. They cut it out. They cut our fiber, basically,
cut
right?
all of our fiber.
Like with
rewire
scissors,
our
dude.
building, yeah.
Like what's up with that, Apple?
Yeah, just with like a wire cutters.
Why gonna be like that? Come on, guys. Who would do such? Who would do such?
Bad
a thing?
Apple.
That is absolutely a bad Apple. All right. Moving on. Tim Cook recently had his Apple shareholders meeting. I said Apple shareholders meeting. Now here's the thing. Shareholders are basically a bunch of old dudes with a lot of money.
Yes.
I didn't want to
have a stake in Apple, and they're like, we need to make more money. How are you going to make us more money, Tim?
Now, they also vote on a variety of initiatives, so the board of directors are there. They vote on new initiatives for the company. I'm not going to make a big brouhaha about this because I know the majority of shareholders are from one specific ethnic group, but there was a initiative to basically increase the diversity on the Apple board of directors.
Oh, really?
And the shareholders, the large amount of shareholders had an opportunity, if you own any stock in them, had an opportunity to vote for it. Only 6% of those shareholders said, yeah, we should diversify. We should make Apple's board of directors more diverse. Like make an effort. So it got completely shut down.
That's crazy.
Congrats to a bunch of old white dudes.
They're logging it down.
They're like, yo, we got to, our Apple stock is fine the way it is.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it that way.
We're sitting on a boatload of cash somewhere in some island off the, outside the United States. Like, we don't want to screw that.
But all Brian, continue to buy our products. Just keep buying them, Brian. Keep talking positively about them. Beacham, you buy them too. So
I do.
Those are some of those initiatives. Also, just kind of financial stuff. It's a lot of that. But the highlight of these meetings is that shareholders get to ask Tim Cook direct questions. Now, they're not always the smartest questions. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, for example, this is on the record. One of the shareholders directly asked Tim or told Tim that, I think that we should could you build a super smart dumb phone in a round design.
Yeah.
Like
I saw
like
that.
a circle.
A circular phone.
Like a circle phone. And Tim Cook replied in quotes, "Not sure we're going to create a round phone."
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Easy way of letting him down.
This is what this is the type of people we're talking about. It's like
I heard that one of them also complained about how his phone got bricked from an update, and then Tim Cook was like doing tech. He was doing like IT work, like trying to fix this guy's phone in the meeting. That happened, right?
Yeah, this is shareholders are just rich people with rich problems. Okay,
Yeah,
let's be real about that. Now there are some cool, interesting kind of nuggets that you always pull out from from the shareholder meetings. One of them was the Cook's comments about the AirPods.
Yes.
So Cook said that they're trying to build as many AirPods as fast as they can. For those of you that are trying to still hunt them down, they're still pretty hard to get. Sometimes you can walk into a store and they might have a few around 12 o'clock when they get their shipment. Most of the time they don't. So let's be honest, they're still back ordered. It's now 6 months since they announced it?
Oh, man.
And they're still
there
not
was a delay,
readily
right?
available.
There was a delay.
There's a delay and they're still not readily available. Tim Cook called the wireless earbuds from Apple quite the cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, that's very questionable. That's a very questionable quote for me.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Let's keep it real, Tim. Okay. I like to talk about some examples of maybe we could use in comparison as cultural phenomenon.
A cultural phenomenon would be like Pokemon Go.
Thank you. That was the first example I came up with in the show. Like everyone was doing that. That's How about
Hillary Clinton was talking about it when she was running for president. I mean,
how about let's turn the clock a little bit. What about the Macarena?
Macarena.
That was a cultural phenomenon.
Cultural phenomenon.
That was huge.
Yes.
But
AirPods? No, I don't see people going nuts, like making memes, like posting stuff, all their own. I just don't see it.
We're here in the Bay Area, in the heart of Silicon Valley. I don't even see. I would say, let's be even generous. 1 out of 100 people don't even have an AirPods that they're walking around wearing.
Barely.
Not even.
I mean, I see maybe like one person every couple days.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm lucky,
So let's not get ahead of ourselves, Timmy.
No.
Cultural phenomenon. Salt Bay. Salt Bay is a bigger.
Yeah.
Let's just sprinkle.
Roll safe.
Stop. I mean, there's so many more you could think of. It's just that's a little silly when you start drinking a little bit of that Kool-Aid. That's all I'm gonna say. Tim Cook was also asked directly about Apple's focus on basically someone called him out and said, "Aren't you focusing on the consumer space more than the pro space?" And let me see if I can find this. Oh, here we go. So, in response to that, Cook said that Apple will do more in the pro area. He also called out the creative field, especially important to Apple. But then here's his quote, and this is kind of one of those quotes that you have to think about for a second. All right. This is what Cook said. "Don't think that something we've done or something we're doing that isn't visible yet is a signal that our priorities are elsewhere." But so he's basically saying, yeah, if you haven't seen it, it doesn't mean that we're not working on it. But I would need to exhibit A, the Mac Pro still has not seen an update in 3 years and 2 months.
Oh, wow.
That's
crazy.
A pro machine.
Yeah.
That would tell me that you guys might not be talking to the pro. That look like your priorities aren't there. So maybe they'll shut me up in their rumored March event. I don't even know if there's really going to be a March event because it seems like the iPads are going to get pushed out. But we might still see at least a March event for iPads and maybe some other stuff. We'll see. But they need to get on that. There's also other shareholders asked Tim Cook directly about the prospects of seeing an iPad separate from a Mac. And this kind of really made me feel like this sinking feeling in my heart. Cook said he doesn't like talking about future products, but he reiterated that he sees them as separate. So the Mac and the iPad as separate. He later on expanded and said that we're going to do the iPad that you see now will be able to do a lot more, but he still feels the Mac is a more feature-rich product. And that just clearly tells you that all of you dreamers, including me, that we're hoping that maybe one day Apple would create some sort of a hybrid operating system so that the iPad Pro could at least do maybe a few things that the Surface Pro could do, but in their Apple way. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, there's still like a big disconnect between my phone and my computer, you know? Like I wish that there was some marriage there, but it just doesn't not happening.
Good luck, Good luck, Steven. You're an Apple customer who is
There's
one
like,
of many.
There's like little tiny things that are like piecemealing to us, you know, but it would be cool if I, hop on one thing and everything's the same on the other, you know?
What happened to the big, like, Apple's like, boom, here's the hammer. This is what you want. And everyone's like, hell yeah. We haven't seen that in a long time.
I don't know. Maybe they're just seeing success with having different, different things. I don't know. Maybe
they're tiering their phones.
Yeah,
they're basically creating multiple versions of a phone with slightly better upgrades. And they're quite honestly actually making more money from it.
Totally.
So the market isn't telling them that they're doing anything wrong. Yeah. When it comes down to the dollars, they're doing everything right. Should we take a little break to talk to our friends that are kindly sponsoring this amazing show?
Please.
Apple Byte Extra Crunchy, reppin' Beach and Tongue. All right, here we go. Get peace of mind knowing your files are secure with Backblaze. What is Backblaze? It's unlimited cloud backup for Macs and PCs. And you know what? My friend Stephen Beacham is going to tell you a little bit more.
Backblaze backs up documents, music, photos, videos, drawings, projects, whatever you need, and you can access it from anywhere in the world on the web or on your phone, which is pretty awesome. I mean,
it is awesome.
I need that. Best of all, you can restore as many files as you need. One of them, all of them, the choice is yours. So you can restore stuff after you delete it. That's kind of cool.
That's pretty dope.
So that means it lives on their server forever. So that's cool. Backblaze has already restored over 20 billion files of people who just messed up and deleted
How many
something.
is that? 20 billion.
That's insane. That's a lot of documents and memories. And if you have a complete system failure, you can have a hard drive of your data overnighted to you via... That is pretty awesome. Overnighted to you via FedEx.
Dude, this is a $5 a month plan.
That's $5 a month?
Yeah, that's
like
sick.
Insurance. You want to finish the rest here?
Fine, I will. Then once your data has been restored, you can return the drive and get a full refund. It's a win-win. All this for, again, $5 a month. No gimmicks, no additional charges. So check this out. You all listening right now, you can even get a 15-day free trial by going to backblaze.com/applebyte. That's spelled APPLEBYTE. Go there, play with it, start protecting all of your most important files. Just make sure you visit backblaze.com/applebyte so they know where you came from and continue to support the show. Ladies and gentlemen, start today.
Cool.
Backblaze, even what if it's a free trial? What if your computer pooped out in 15 days and you were listening to the show and you're like, I could have Backblazed that?
I want to try it just to back up like videos for my kids so then I can just stream them to my phone whenever I am. Because, sometimes I can't do that. So that'd be awesome.
There's a variety of services, but the one that I choose today is Backblaze. I shouldn't. Can you delete that? Can you edit that part?
No, it's great.
No, we're gonna roll with it. All right, let's get back to the show. Apple Watch news. The Apple Watch's record-breaking quarter. This is according to IDC data that pretty much covers kind of the market and sales receipts, both online and at brick and mortar. According to this report, Apple Watch Series 1 and 2 have become a magnificent success, recording their best ever quarter in the wearables market. According to IDC, Apple shipped an estimated 4.6 million Apple Watch units in the fourth quarter of 2016. That's up from 4.1 a year ago. Also, its share of the wearables market, and this also includes like all basic fitness trackers, the Apple Watch is bundled in that. They took an estimated 13.6% of that market share, a little down from the 14.1 a year ago. Also, though, Fitbit experienced one of its largest declines ever in the fourth quarter. Fitbit shipped 6.5 million trackers in the quarter, down from 8.4 million in the year ago. So it was a record-breaking quarter for Apple, but overall, the market, not so hot. But Apple's really been pushing it as like a fitness device lately.
Yeah.
You notice that?
I think people might have already just all bought their fitness devices and
they kind of these things last well. I mean,
yeah.
This is actually look at how silly this is. I'm wearing both. I'm rocking both my Apple Watch and Fitbit today because I wanted to. Some people are like hating on me. They're like, "Why do you wear two watches, or why do you wear a Fitbit and Apple Watch?" Because I can. Because I'm Brian Tong.
So your Apple Watch can track your steps too, right?
It does, but I do feel that the Fitbit tracks them much more accurately.
Oh, okay.
I even did things like I would go on hikes and basically take the distance that the hike says, I guess if you trust the internet, right? I'd look at how long is this actual hike, from miles.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Fitbit every time tracked it more accurately. Even in rough steps consistently when I do it multiple times, like there's why can't I remember it off the top of my head? I feel so stupid. I do a few hikes, like Pillbox in Hawaii, a couple others, and I just did it just to see how accurate it was, and I did feel that the Fitbit was more accurate.
That's cool.
In at least when it's tracking your steps.
Nice.
So there you go. Okay, as we continue to roll on through the show, Apple has 1,000 engineers working on AR, augmented reality, and may debut it in the iPhone 8. This is according to Business Insider. A whole slew of people. Now, 1,000 doesn't mean everyone's doing like all these crazy, putting all these crazy pieces of the puzzle, but we could see it as early as the next iPhone. We've been talking a lot about the different 3D depth sensors that are expected to be used in the iPhone, how it could possibly drive up the cost, even with the fact that the home button on the new iPhone, at least the premium OLED screen version, appears to be embedded under the screen, which means Touch ID might at least temporarily go away to a certain degree, or you'll use face unlocking to unlock your phone faster.
I love Touch ID, though.
I do too.
It's so helpful.
I do too. I'm used to it right now.
Yeah, we're all used to it.
So
hopefully they don't get rid of it.
I mean, it would be interesting to see how. I feel like everyone's throwing every feature that the kitchen has at the new iPhone Premium Edition.
Yeah.
I don't think all of it's going to be in it. But if it is, then everyone's going to buy one.
Probably.
Like if this is, I don't see how much better a phone might get after this generation.
Yeah.
Like it's already slowed down. But there's a point now, at least for an Apple phone, because we've seen these features in other phones, if it's really almost a completely buttonless phone, and then the reaction time of this face recognition or, Touch ID might live in some way, shape, or form, like you have to touch in a certain area, and it'll still detect your fingerprint, but all that stuff, wireless charging, blah, 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 it could be like, okay, this is the phone now.
This is the phone now.
I mean, we know other phones have some of these technologies, but maybe this is the one that does it, because no matter what you say, whenever Apple releases a new redesigned, like a different looking phone, everyone wants it.
Oh, totally.
Like
the iPhone 4 came out, everyone was like, I need that. It looks so cool.
And it was the cool, to me, it was my favorite design.
It is cool, yeah.
It was my favorite design. So, augmented reality, been thrown around a lot. Apple's been talking way too much about it, so it's like not exciting anymore. Tim Cook's like, just to let you know, we love augmented reality.
Really? So do we, Tim.
Yeah, so do we. All right, Apple makes me sad here. Trailing in the TV streaming service category, YouTube or Google officially launched and announced YouTube TV. What will it be? It'll be a $35 per month live TV streaming service. It will carry the big four networks. That's ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox.
If Golf Channel's on there, I'm probably going to get it.
Do you know who's the parent company of Golf Channel?
NBC, baby.
Oh, then it'll be on it. It'll most likely be on it. If you pause, there's a video that shows all the channels. You might be able to catch it. I don't know. You can look for it yeah, it's right there. You can look for it while I keep on talking about this.
I see NBC Sports Network. Yep.
That's where it'll be?
That's probably where it'll live.
Here
we go. Golf right there.
There you go. Boom shakalaka.
All right. Thank you.
So for all you cable lovers, though, they're really only going to include cable channels that are related to the big four networks. And what does that mean? That means cable networks or families of channels like Viacom, which is VH1, MTV, and Comedy Central, like Time Warner, which is TNT and TBS, or a station like AMC that are cable exclusive. They will not be part of the package. So you really have to, like all these plans, you really have to figure out what does it have and if it works for you. But again, Apple does not have a live TV streaming service. YouTube does, Sony PlayStation does, AT&T DirecTV Now does, and Sling TV does.
Yes.
They have some form of package. My favorite still right now is the PlayStation Vue. Although it doesn't have Viacom anymore, I don't watch MTV, I don't watch VH1.
Nobody does anymore, man.
I don't make enough time to watch Comedy Central, quite honestly. That's probably the biggest.
I don't watch Comedy Central anymore either.
Yeah, neither do I.
They just kind of fizzled for me.
So I'm telling you, PlayStation Vue is where it's at least for me, and I think that for a lot of people, you'd be like, that use it, you're like, yeah, PlayStation View is the jam. So there you go, YouTube. It'll be launching in a couple months. They expect it, really, most of their users to be streaming TV to a mobile device. So it's going to be a standalone app. It won't be like embedded into anything. And it'll also be available for television sets, laptops, as well as Google Chromecast. And one of the things that is coming soon is you'll be able to talk to your Google Home and say, watch This Is Us. Have you seen that show?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. That is an emotional...
I don't know anything about it at all.
That is an emotional roller coaster.
Like, what's it about? What even is it?
Just the dynamic of these people that are related, that have their own issues, that are still trying to find themselves, that are forming... It's just deep, though. It's not like some, like... It's This Is Us. It should be called, like, This Is Cray, or, like... It, I mean, I don't know... I got pretty teary-eyed in multiple episodes.
Really?
Multiple.
I don't like to watch stuff that makes me cry. I avoid it. Like
but
all the Oscar movies, I'm like, no.
But it's like heartfelt in a good way and a bad way.
Okay.
People that are listening, they're gonna be like, yeah. They're like, This Is Us. Damn, that show got me.
I've been watching the new BBC, The World. What is it?
No, Planet Earth.
Planet Earth 2. Pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I wonder, will that be on YouTube streaming TV? Probably
I don't know.
not.
BBC
not.
America, probably not. And
Yeah.
people that are listening overseas, before we continue, as we continue to talk about all the shows we like, BBC America got the Planet Earth 2 series like basically 2 or 3 months after BBC did.
Oh,
so
really?
BBC's like, oh, whatever. Like, I saw that long ago. I'm just like, dude.
It's pretty
like, remember that
awesome.
snake baby iguana chase?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they first showed it on the web, like in a mini clip, but they have a full extended version on the actual program.
It's amazing.
And it's like, I don't know. Those people are geniuses. I would love to just like sit with the crew and just watch them go to town.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. I mean, they build like technology to film this stuff. Like they don't just buy a special camera. They like build a special rig, and it's pretty amazing.
Or they're just walking around with their iPhones on a stick.
Yeah. You're like, oh, there's a butterfly.
Yo, get that.
Snake's attacking an iguana.
All right, just a couple highlights before we wrap up. Before we wrap up the stories and get to the news, Facebook officially releases a new video app for the 4th Gen Apple TV, only for the 4th Gen Apple TV. We know that Facebook is trying to push hard into video. And then a fun one: the Nintendo Switch is coming out this week. Many of you are either waiting in the store for I don't know why. You should have just pre-ordered the damn thing, and then returned it or sold it if you didn't want it. Or people that have pre-ordered, it's coming on Friday. But here's a fun story: so the Switch and the MacBook Pro. And even the MacBook have USB-C.
Yeah.
So
cool.
This guy on Twitter, Mike Murphy, decided to be like, oh, what happens if I connect the two, right? If you connect the two by USB-C, in fact, the Nintendo Switch actually charges the MacBook Pro.
That's so funny.
It acts as a secondary battery.
That's weird. Like, how does that happen?
I don't even, honestly, let's be honest, you guys can educate us. I didn't look it up. Like, what determines the direction of the charge?
Yeah.
Or
so weird.
is, what takes priority? Or does it have to do with the order that you plugged it in?
So is the Switch supposed to be able to work with like a power brick? Like if you're on the go?
When you dock it, it has a USB-C connector in it.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it has its little dock with HDMI and stuff.
Yeah.
But it also has a USB-C connector. It's forward thinking.
It's pretty cool.
So that is crazy.
Yeah, I do want a Switch. I definitely won't. I'm a Nintendo collector, so I have every Nintendo. So.
Friend on Periscope, Faded Away, says the MacBook charges the Switch if the Switch is turned off.
Huh. That's weird.
Again. Huh. Interesting.
Strange.
Very interesting.
You have to do a how-to.
Dude, that's going to be like, yeah, when you watch it, you're going to be like, this is stupid. All right, should we get to some calls?
Yeah, let's do some calls.
Calls for y'all. That's why, remember, if you guys want to be, guys and gals want to be a part of the show, 1-800-616-2638 is the number. I should say it slower so you can write it down. 1-800-616-2638. Where's our number graphic?
I'll put a little graphic up.
Oh, you put it on later.
I'm gonna post.
You're gonna sex it up. You're gonna sex it up later.
All right, here comes our first call, and thanks for calling.
Hey y'all, this is Aaron Hope from Durham, North Carolina. Just calling on the subject of the podcast update. It would be really cool to see them implement some kind of slide deck, maybe, almost to convert a podcast to almost like a webinar, so that people can kind of see and have some kind of visual content that they can look at as they're listening to the podcast, another feature I would love to see would be an option to go live. That would be amazing. You know, you just get a push notification, your favorite podcast is going live, Apple Byte Extra Crunchy, and then boom, let people just pull up, open the podcast app, and you're right there. That would be sweet. Anyway, take care, guys. Thank you.
Love that.
That would be
Love all
sweet,
those
man.
suggestions, because a lot of podcasts are like informative, right, and educational.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
even after
Like
the
ours.
show, like even after a show, right? You're throwing up clips and web
Yeah.
pages. Like, there's learning ones, like having some sort of slide feature. I like all of that.
Yeah, like TED Talks is one of the #1 podcasts, so that can definitely.
My man, you have been
Work.
hired by the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy. For, I don't know what for, but you have great ideas.
You know, I deal with iTunes a lot, actually, like with our podcast, and everything on the iTunes platform is so bare bones. Like, they don't want to do any work.
Yeah,
You know, they just want people to put their podcasts up and have it work. That's all they want to do.
and that's kind of how it was
I
from
don't-
the start, right? It was kind of like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hobby, honestly. Like
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, like, oh, there's this podcast thing, and he clearly believed in it because he liked to talk about. But like you
Yeah.
said, they're kind of a little more hands off with it, right?
very hands off. Like, it's difficult to get them to do any work for you if you want something fixed, you know. And like a lot of times I go back and forth, like trying to explain to them what I want fixed. But yeah, I don't see them ever doing anything like that. Like what he's recommending, like unless they really get into it and they figure out a way to monetize. But I don't see anything like
Yeah.
that happening, even though it would be awesome. But
It would be awesome. And just a quick thing for people watching us live on Periscope, they can't hear the calls. We are working on that. Hopefully, we'll get something soon.
Well, we're going to be back in our studio at the end of this month,
Oh, that's right.
March 24th.
I'll
so-
happen to be here that weekend.
Nice.
week, so we'll
Then
do
we're gonna
it.
have full capabilities again.
Oh, man. It'll feel like brand new, though,
It's gonna feel like brand new,
right? Because
Yeah.
we've been doing this, like, basically putting together what we have, but it's so much more fully fleshed out there.
Yeah. This show's held together with rubber bands right now. Okay, next call.
Hello, this is Javor from Charlotte. I just have a question. Do you think the 5K iMac is going to replace the Mac Pro as the official workstation for professionals who prefer Apple products? Just wanted to hear your opinion. Thanks.
Javor, I think it comes down to professional, quite honestly. Like, you're I think we all choose what is our pro machine. The iMacs and the MacBook Pros have more than enough power to be pro machines. So I don't think there's ever should be a distinction like this is the de facto pro machine. Look, even the Mac Pro, which hasn't been updated for 3 years, at the time was a machine that some pros chose to use, and some still said, I'm just going to get a beefed up MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the user for me.
I mean, for me, I have both. I have an iMac at my desk and I have a Mac Pro laptop. Definitely want to edit on my iMac
Big,
over my
juicy
laptop.
screen.
I mean, I do edit on my MacBook, but it just takes a long time to, it's hard to get to buttons and hotkeys and stuff, and then just exporting takes forever. So iMac, power, big screen, beautiful screen.
Yeah.
It's so much easier, Okay, next call.
Hey guys, it's Matt calling from Ontario. I'm looking at taking the dive and buying a 15-inch MacBook Pro. I'm just wondering, would it be worth waiting for the new refresh? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love the show.
He's about to dive in.
He's gonna
Ooh,
dive.
I'm about to dive in. Trey Songz, baby. Trigger. Look, I think you should wait. You're at a point in time where the new MacBook Pros, I'm going to throw it out there because I still haven't heard from enough of you, because that means also not enough of you are buying this thing. I don't know many people that have bought the new Mac Pro and said they're totally in love with it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are actually a little more frustrated over time that the touch bar just isn't really all that. And
Yeah.
I know, and I'm not saying one guy, I'm saying multiple people. So what I would say for you is that you're probably going to most likely use your MacBook Pro the same way, but wait for the faster processor, wait for the larger RAM support, like wait for all these things that could make it more special. And I'm sure you have a computer that you could deal with for the next 6 months. I wouldn't buy one right now.
No.
I wouldn't buy one right now. Even if the MacBook Pro stays exactly the same, which it most likely will, the touch bar will get better. Those things will improve. So at least you'll get a slightly better machine. I don't know how much more functional it'll be. It's still going to be Dongle Town.
Dongle Town, Dongle City.
We're going to take you to Dongle Town, baby. So it's going to be about the same, but you're going to get a little more power and juice. So why not just wait if you don't need it right now?
Cool. I'm waiting. for a long time. Okay,
Yikes.
next call.
Hi, this message is for Brian Tong. My name is Trevor. I'm from Fairfield Hills, Pennsylvania. And I was wondering, I eventually want an iPad. I have a MacBook and an iPhone. But what's the best iPad to get? Should I wait for the new 2017 iPads or get an older model? Let me know what you think. Thank you. Love the show.
Beast, let's hear your thoughts first, man.
I would recommend an older model because they're cheap and they are going to work forever still, and they're going to be just fine. You know?
Just to give you an example, I did a little digging because people have been asking me like, oh, how much do you love your iPad Pro? A lot, especially comic book readers. You can find a 12.9-inch iPad Pro refurbished on Apple's website for $649 right now.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's
cheaper
really-
than what I bought my third gen.
That's what I'm talking about. So the iPad is just that type of thing where you don't have to get the latest one.
No.
Like, really, what's going to happen in the new ones, it'll be a new redesign. They'll all most likely support faster USB-C charging, and all of them will have the True Tone display. The pencil will be improved a little bit, but most people don't use the pencil.
I don't think all those things you said, I don't think it's worth it.
No.
Seriously.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that you might want to make sure you get is a True Tone display iPad, if you even want that. There's a lot of artists that are like, I don't want it to change color on me because it doesn't show my work as it's intended to be if it adjusts the white, the white balance.
That makes sense.
So, maybe wait. The new iPads are supposed to be announced sometime, if it's just true, in March. Some of them might come in spring. You wait 3-4 months, and then the current iPads will be lower in price. Just do that.
There's also all kinds of weird deals for like get a free iPad if you buy this. There's all these weird deals all over that I see. Like even some of the phone carriers, like if you buy I'm sure the iPhone 8, get the iPhone 8 2-year agreement, you get a free iPad mini or stuff like that happens all the time. So it's worth to look out for that too.
I saw a deal, buy an iPad Pro, get a free Tinder account while you're at it.
There you go.
Dude, you got to do that to go single.
Cool. Okay, we got one more call.
Let's more call.
And it's 18 seconds. Thanks for being fast.
Hello, this is John from Minnesota, and my question is, with wireless charging, does that mean that we will need to buy new iMacs or new Minis that have the technology inside? Thank you.
So, John's been reading a lot. Now, there were rumors, and there's an actual Apple patent out there that they were hoping to use long-range wireless charging, and something like the base of the iMac would actually be able to send out that connection or, be able to charge wirelessly by putting the transmitter in the base. But that has not been confirmed yet. That is not a fact yet. All reports say that Apple is still trying to figure out this wireless charging thing, and most likely, at least in this first run of the Apple iPhone, it'll just be the standard wireless charging, again, depending on the model, if it is a model with wireless charging, where you just basically put it on some sort of a plate. Now, of course, if Apple wanted to go big and shock us, it would be wireless charging with range. Even 10 to 15 feet.
If it was like something cool you just plugged into the wall and it just like sent out a signal and charged your stuff as you walk by, that would be rad.
Even if it fried my balls, I might try it out, okay?
Even if I get like lymphoma. No, I'm just kidding.
Even if one of my balls is bigger than the other because of it, I might still do it.
Yeah, I can start growing a third ear or something.
I thought you were going to say a third ball.
Have like another iPhone, on the third ear.
I thought you were going to say a third ball, dude. I might do that.
Third ball, that'd be rad too. You have some
3 balls are better than 2.
Yeah, radioactive babies.
You could be a juggler.
Sure,
why not? So, back to your question, we probably, if at the very least, let's just speculate, and they do this long-range wireless charging, they'll create some sort of a station that will be an accessory, but you won't have to buy an entire new iMac for it. But if you're rich and they do that, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Sure.
I mean, we've seen, trust me, I worked at the Apple Store back in the day. I saw plenty of dudes dropping down cash for things they didn't need as long as you told them it was the newest thing.
Totally. Oh, you wait for those guys to walk in.
Would you
You're
like,
oh, this guy's walking
Would
in.
you like 2 23-inch Apple Cinema displays with your iMac? I'm just kidding.
Be like, you can
with
watch
your
you
iBook?
can watch 2 movies at once.
Oh, man.
Okay, yeah, great.
It's
idea.
like, you know what? I'd like to get into digital editing. Oh, so you've never edited video before? How about 2 23-inch cinema displays that cost $3,500 each? I'd love that.
Sure.
Sale.
Cool.
Sale. YOLO.
YOLO.
Sir.
Would you like Apple Care?
Oh,
Okay.
we always had to attach Apple Care.
Of course.
And at the time, it was called .Mac before it was
.Mac.
called iCloud. So it was called .Mac. So you get what we call attach rates. People in retail know what we're talking about, right? You always get those add-ons, right? The insurance and
It's
the
like
plan.
being a server in a restaurant. You're like, would you like fries with that?
Yeah.
Same deal.
Do they measure people on fry attachment rate?
Oh, you have to upsell. If you're working in the restaurant business, you got to upsell, man. Because that increases your bill.
That's true. And
increases your tip.
That's true.
Increases everything.
But do they track that? That'd be actually interesting.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sorry, guys. Beach, you're gonna have to leave. Your French fry attach rate is lower than our standards.
Yeah, please. You're not offering enough root beer. We need you to.
We need to up your beer game, bro.
Solids.
All right, Beach. It was great to be back together again.
Yeah, man.
In the same damn room.
We're in the same room.
Same room. All right,
Crazy.
ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with us again. You can call us to be a part of the show. 1-800-616-2638. That's gonna do it for the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy. Until next time, keep it munchy. We'll see ya. Peace.
All right.